Hey everyone, we are back with the final slideshow for Ancient Rome. Today's topic is going to be the fall of the empire. In the year 180, Marcus Aurelius is going to die. His son Commodus takes over as emperor. He spent much of his time fighting as a gladiator. Eventually, he would be killed by one of his bodyguards. For the next 100 years, there was not one clear-cut leader. Most leaders spent time putting down revolts, and they were ignoring the growing problems of crime and poverty. From the years 235 to 285, so a 50-year stretch for all you math people out there, Rome had 22 emperors. Officials were taking bribes, and people were refusing to serve in government. They refused to pay taxes, and they even refused to go to school. Roman soldiers and invaders seized crops and destroyed fields. Farmers were growing less food. Hunger began to spread. And basically, we got to the point where there was not enough food for the people of Rome. A plague is going to break out that will kill 1 in every 10 people. Inflation is going to also begin to spread rapidly. Inflation is when money loses its value. So supply and demand. If you have a whole bunch of one product, it's going to probably be pretty cheap because there's just so much of it. But if you have a handful of this product and everybody wants it, you can pretty much charge whatever you want because there's just only so much to go around. Many people stopped using money at this point because of inflation, because their money essentially had no value, and they began to barter or trade instead. Diocletian is going to become emperor in 284, and he's going to make many reforms to help Rome. One of those reforms is that he split the empire into 4, and he appointed officials to rule each of those 4 areas. In order to slow inflation, he set the prices of goods and the wages of workers. So he said that you can't charge more than this amount for this good. And he said that workers basically had to be paid a certain amount. So it was like a minimum wage. However, people ignored those rules, and Diocletian did not have enough power to make them obey. Constantine became the emperor in 312. We talked about him quite a bit in our section on Christianity. He ordered that the sons of workers had to follow in their father's footsteps. Therefore, the son of a farmer had to be a farmer. The son of a soldier had to be a soldier. So imagine if you had no choice or no say in your future profession. Whatever your father does is what you would have to do. More than likely, it's probably not going to be something that you're interested in, but they did not have a choice at this point in the Roman Empire. The reforms could not stop the empire from declining in the west. Constantine is going to move the capital away from Rome to the city of Byzantium. The city became known as Constantinople, named after Constantine, and this city does still exist today, but today it is Istanbul in Turkey. Neither Diocletian or Constantine could save the empire. Theodosius would take over after Constantine, and he decided to split the empire into 2 after his death. The Western Roman Empire had the capital in Rome. The Eastern Roman Empire had the capital in Constantinople. The 2 would be ruled separately. So we have a Western Roman Empire and an Eastern Roman Empire. Here's an example. You can see they pretty much just drew a line straight down the middle. The macaroni and cheese-ish color is the Western Roman Empire, and then that sort of salmon color is going to be the Eastern Roman Empire. Germanic tribes came down and attacked the Roman Empire. Groups like the Ostrogoths, Visigoths, Franks, Vandals, Angles, and Saxons, and we'll talk about them a little bit more in the next chapter, but they're going to come from the forests and the marshes of northern Europe. These Germanic tribes wanted warmer climates and better grazing for their cattle. Many were also trying to escape the Huns, who were sweeping in from Mongolia over in Asia. In 410, Germanic tribes captured Rome. This was the first time that Rome had been conquered in 800 years. The Visigoths and the Vandals destroyed almost all of the valuables in Rome. By the mid-400s, Germanic tribes disbanded the Roman government. They set up kingdoms throughout much of the Western Roman Empire. By 550, the Western Roman Empire was gone. Germanic rulers adopted Latin, Roman laws, and Christianity. So they're going to basically take everything that was already in place and use it for themselves. The Eastern Roman Empire became known as the Byzantine Empire, and they're going to last for another 1,000 years. Here is a map of the Byzantine Empire in the year 526. The legacy of Rome. Roman laws are very similar to our laws today. Some examples: all people are equal under the law. Judges decide fairly. And you are innocent until proven guilty. They also had a republican form of government, which we have in the United States today. Latin is going to form the basis for many languages. Concrete, arches, and domes are still commonly used in architecture. And Christianity is the largest religion in the world today. That is the end of the slides for the fall of the empire. And this, again, is the last slideshow for your chapter on ancient Rome.